everybody that's in South Florida, and because they're having an extremely rough time down there with the hurricanes. It's been going on for quite a few days, and it's disturbing. It's disturbing to see all the footage, and it's disturbing to talk to people that live down there. And I'm just nervous for all my friends and family that live down there. I got an aunt down there. I got a best friend down there, and I have a whole bunch of other people that I know down there. So I'm just hoping and praying that everybody's all right because this footage that I've been seeing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's something very very serious. So let me give it a second. Make sure I'm live on YouTube and wait for some people to join in so we can start tonight's discussion. See one person joined in. How are you doing? As soon as you come in, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and let everybody know where you are tuning in from, please. I was gonna do a double live stream, go on Facebook and as well as YouTube, but we're only on YouTube, and I'm gonna let some people join in because every time I go live, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I caught you live," and they're always missing it. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. There's the first person right there. How are you doing? Campfires in life. What's good? What's good? How are you doing? How you doing? So I wanted to touch base and talk about a few things and get you guys' perspective on my opinions and see what you guys think about it. It's Mike from Florida. Mike, what part of Florida are you in and how are you making out? And what's the weather like? Is it scary? Is it a lot of traffic outside? Are you hunkered down? Are you in the path of Hurricane Milton, or what's it like down there, Mike? I'm curious because I couldn't imagine. I'm seeing flooded streets. I'm seeing all types of crazy stuff. Let me see. Mike said, "Sorry, I missed the meeting." Oh, it's okay, man. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Chicago, what's up? Chicago's in the building. PA, what part of PA? What part of PA you in? Herb Halstead said, "Good evening." Good evening, Herb. Good evening, Herb. So we'll get back to the hurricane stuff in a minute. Let's talk about what I want to talk about in a second. We'll get back to hurricane. Okay, somebody said Port St. Lucie, Florida, having a lot of tornadoes in my area. That is crazy. See, I've never experienced a tornado, so I can't imagine what it's like in real life. I see it on TV, and it just seems like a movie. It doesn't seem like a realistic thing that could actually occur. It's the weirdest thing ever. If any of you guys want to call in, let me know too. I can give you a call in number so you guys can call in and we could talk in person. But I want to talk to you guys about the economy. How many of you guys believe that we're in a recession right now? In the chat, just comment yes or no. How many of you guys think that we're in a recession? Despite what the government is saying, I know they're saying we're not officially, we're headed down, we're headed that way, but I believe the recession already started. In the chat, let me know. Do you think we're in a recession? Just comment yes or no. Comment yes or no in the chat, and let me know what you think. That's my Rebel 2402T making this little noise while I stirs the ink up. I believe we're in a recession, and I believe that everybody, every household should own a heat press. And we're going to get into why I believe that. When I first started venturing into learning how to make t-shirts, the first thing I purchased because I knew I needed it was a heat press. At the time, I bought a heat press off of eBay. It was a heat press and a hat press combo. I think it was like, I don't know, between $300 and $500, probably $300. Cheap Chinese heat press. I still have that heat press. It still works fine too. I don't have it here in the States. I shipped it overseas. It's in Dominica in my room at my mom's house. Shout out to you, Mom. Appreciate that. But that's the first piece of equipment that I bought. And it's lasted the test of time. And that one heat press made me so much money as well as saved me so much money. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Did a heat press make you money and save you money? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So Crafty Puerto Rican says, yes, I started a while ago. It started a while ago, the recession? Is that what you're commenting about? Shout out to you, Crafty Puerto Rican. I appreciate you joining in tonight. But there's so many different things that you can do with a heat press. And during times like this, when finances are tight for everybody and you need a way to supplement your income, and you also need a way to cut back on spending, heat presses can do all those things. Just owning one can do all those things. I know what you're thinking, like, okay, if I don't have a heat press, I got to go out and buy one. But there's so many different cheap alternatives, so many options, I should say, so many inexpensive options that there's no reason why everybody shouldn't own a heat press, especially people with kids. Let me tell you why. If you have a child, right? I think a baby should come with a heat press. Like if you have a baby, your first child, you should get a heat press, right? And then you just keep it for the whole life of that child, because you'll save money, you'll make money. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to elaborate. Okay, so you have a kid, and one of the biggest expenses that you're going to have, besides, care, right? Child care, besides food, and then clothing. What do they say? They say child care, right? Food, clothing, right? I think healthcare falls under childcare, because it's healthcare and like babysitters and stuff like that. So it's childcare, food, and clothing. Now, owning a heat press can help you cut that clothing part in half, because if you have a heat press, you do have to buy blanks, right? But buying a blank is extremely less expensive than buying a decorated garment. So you can go to the store, you can purchase a blank garment with nothing on it, right? And you can create something. Now, here comes another question. You guys are like, okay, so how am I going to get the stuff to put on the garment? Well, we all know now they got these things called DTF transfers. Everybody's selling them. I'm selling them, right? Everybody is selling DTF transfers. So you have so many different options, so many different images that you can put on your child's garment. And when you do that, you're going to save money from buying regular clothes. You can decorate sweats, decorate sweatshirt, all types of stuff. Book bags, all types of stuff. So you're going to cut back and save money on your spending. And the flip side of that, and which is what happened to me when I got my first heat press. While I was making my own stuff and wearing it, eventually somebody's going to ask you about the shirt that you're wearing, right? And when somebody asks you about the shirt that you're wearing, what's going to happen is you're going to end up making one for them and unintentionally making some money from just owning a heat press. See what I'm saying? Let me read some comments real fast and we'll get back to the discussion. Campfire not. Yes. Campfire said yes. Ray LLC said salute. Herb Halstead said I just bought a second one. First one was the V4 manual 8-in-1. The new one is a 16x20 automatic. Shout out to you for the 16x20 automatic. Shout out to you. And round of applause for that. Fidel Elvira in the building. Hi, Alan. Is everyone in the chat? Yeah, hi, Alan, and everyone in the chat. Fidel is the hardest working man in the screen printing industry. Probably in the garment decorating industry, to be honest. I get my inspiration, motivation from my boy Fidel. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so everybody in your household can benefit from you having a heat press. Your spouse, your son, your daughter, yourself. And what I learned while having a heat press, you guys tell me if you do the same thing. When I go out, if I go out, when I go out, which is rarely anymore, like go out shopping, if I'm gonna buy a shirt or anything, that shirt has to be the best shirt ever, because I always look at items and like, I like this, but I think I can make it. Like how many people in the chat has had that happen to them? I like this shirt, but I'm not gonna buy it because I can make that. In the chat, let me know if you guys have ever had that thought. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Especially if you have a heat press, especially if you have an embroidery machine, especially if you ever press a transfer, especially if you ever operated a vinyl cutting machine. In the chat, let me know. Am I the only one? Am I the only one? See? Joava Creation says yes. See? I'm not the only one. And I know it's more people like that think like that. So, yep, all the time. I'm not buying that. I can make that. Matter of fact, I can make one better than that. Or you sit there and you like look at the design, you rub it, you hold it, and you see, okay, that's HTV, or wow, that's a screen printed transfer, or wow, that's just right. So these are the type of things that happen when we go out and we go shopping. If you are somebody that's in the garment decorating industry and you're familiar with these different methods of decorating garments, right? So owning a heat press can save you money and indirectly make you money at the same time. That's why I think everybody, especially if you have kids, should own a heat press. You guys got anything else you want to add on to that? Anything you want to add on to that? Yes, it gives me an opportunity to challenge myself and be creative, 100%. And not only will it give you the opportunity of becoming creative, it's kind of like you can create kind of like a family activity thing, and it can help like your kids' development. Whereas though they're watching you create something and they see how it's created, so then their minds start to work differently. It's almost like it's an exercise. It's a mental exercise. So there are many different benefits, and especially right now, most of the kids are online in front of their iPad or on your cell phone playing what? In the chat. In the chat, if you got kids, you know exactly what I'm going to say. Playing what? Starts with an R. I'm going to let you guys say it. Starts with an R. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. In the chat. Type it in. What are they playing? What are they playing? I'm going to let you guys, because I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So many inexpensive options for heat presses. And there's no reason why everybody shouldn't own one. And like, I believe the world will be like people, over the years, you can save so much money making your own stuff, right? And you can express yourself different, express yourself in ways that you want to express yourself. Because sometimes you'll see a shirt, right? And you're like, okay, I like this shirt, but I wish it said this, or I wish they would have put this color instead of that color. So like, that's all the power that you have just by owning a device. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Nobody put it in chat. I can't believe I made one of your live chats. What's up, Willie Shipping? Thank you for making the chat. Demps Designs in the building. Thank you. There you go. Camp Life and Fires. Roblox. Love to make unique designs. That's what all the kids are playing right now. They're playing Roblox. They're on their iPads, on their cell phones, playing Roblox. So to get your child away from that Roblox, there's got to be something else to do, because the way kids are right now, they don't function like you and I used to function when we were younger. We would go outside and play, right? Unless your kids, it is in an extracurricular activity, they're pretty much in the house. Because why? It's not safe to be outside by yourself, unsupervised, running around up and down the block like we used to do, riding your bike up and down full speed, going down a hill, going around the corner to your friend's house. That almost doesn't exist anymore. You got to be a special kid. You got to be really, really street smart for your parents to even trust you at an early age, at a young age, Because I know I was walking around Philadelphia at like, I don't know, 9 years old. I was walking home from school. Well, I shouldn't say that because the legal age to walk home from school, I think, to be unaccompanied is like 13 years old. But man, let me tell you something. Elementary school, I was walking home from school by myself with I had the little silver bead chain with the key on it. How many of you guys had the silver bead chain with the little clasp on it with your key, with the house key? Yeah. And I used to always twirl it like this. I used to always twirl it around my finger. Those are the good old days. Y'all can relate with what I'm talking to. But anyway, I don't have small kids anymore. Laugh out loud. But you still got a heat press though, which is good. If you can't afford an embroidery machine with a larger embroidery field or hoop, go for it. You'll be able to embroider large embroidery files. I was out and about from dawn to dusk as a kid. Exactly. Same here. Same here. We were running around, right? Sorry, I'm on my other account. This is AM Embroidering and your D1 team. What's going on, man? How are you? I figured it was you after you said sorry you missed the meeting. I figured you were doing stuff with the football team and stuff. So, yeah. So you don't have your star next to your name. It's all good. It's all good. All the kids are grown. All my kids are grown. Says Leon White. Haha. You better not lose that key, right? That's what my mom used to say. I think I probably lost my key like once or twice. And my mom had to change the locks because you never know who in the neighborhood might have that, might find that key. And they know whose house it belongs to because they know whose key it is. They know who has that like thing, right? So stop telling your age. It's all good. I'm proud. I'm you're getting old when you don't remember your age. I'm 44. I don't mind telling my age. I'm good. I'm secure. I'm good. I still look young. Minus the grays, still look young, so I'm all good. That's why I grew this. I grew my hair out so that people can see the grays, so people can put some respect on my name. Because when my face, when I have it clean shaven and it's just my face, I look too young, and then people talk to me reckless in the comments. I think with the grays, people like put some people respect me a little bit more. It's weird. Yeah. So, guys, today, you guys saw the video, or you guys might have saw when I embroidered these polo shirts and I messed them all up. Well, today I got the new batch and I got all the polo shirts embroidered and that's done. Last night's live, I was embroidering some stuff. Got all those what were they, shirts? It was button-down shirts. Got all those done this morning. And the sweaters that I had, I got all of them done. Let me roll some footage for you guys to see. See? There is the sweater. And as you guys can see, I got some aqua soft water soluble in the chat. Somebody type that in. Water solvy stabilizer on there. And there's another angle right there. You can see the close-up of that item embroidering. And it came out really, really good because I put that stuff on top of it. And for those of y'all that don't know, it makes it so that your embroidery does not sink into the thick fabric, right? So that's what that plastic-looking stuff is for. So you got your stabilizer at the bottom of the garment, and that's digitized wrong. You guys see how it started embroidering and then it stopped and went to the other side? That's like something that comes with experience, right? You wouldn't know that unless you know how to digitize. So when it starts from one point, starts going down, then it stops, goes to the other side, and then meets, it creates like, you can sometimes see a line through that tatami stitch, like where it didn't join all the way. To avoid that, in digitizing, the start and the stop point have to be opposite of the angle line point. So if your angle line point is horizontal, the start and the stop point have to be the farthest most vertical and the farthest most vertical at the bottom. So that in that then way it'll embroider all the way through. If the stitch line, stitch angle, they call it, stitch angle, and the start and stop point is on the same plane, it's going to start to embroider, it's going to stop, going to go back there, and it's going to come up and meet, and then you're going to have that line that you see in the middle. So it's just an adjustment that needs to be done in digitizing. How many people knew that in the chat? How many people knew that? I bet you most of y'all didn't even know that. See how it's going to meet the other part right there? And luckily this design had enough stuff going on top of it so you couldn't really see it, but it had a line going through. But yeah, you couldn't tell. And then here's the polos that I did. I did about how many polos did I do? I did like 12 or 13 of these today, and I'm in the studio right now. After I leave the studio, I'm gonna go drop them off to my client. So my day is still not over yet, but it's all good. I'm gonna have to try that trick in Chroma. Yeah. You could test it out. Just what you got to do is just to, you gotta just go into Chroma, digitize a simple square, right? And then you hit the one that's right underneath the arrow. I wish I could bring Chroma up. I don't have plug up. But there's a button that's right underneath the arrow. I think it's right underneath the arrow. See, I know how to digitize in 3 different softwares. So I get them mixed up sometimes. I think in Chroma, right underneath the selection tool, that allows you to change the parameters of the actual image. And when you select that, you'll see the angle line, and you see the start and stop point. The start one is yellow, and the stop one is red. And just play around with them. Put the angle line and the start and stop point in the same direction. Like if the angle line is this way, put the start and stop point that way, and you'll see when you play back, it'll go stop, come over here, and then meet. But as soon as you go back and you change it, opposite angle line, and then start and stop point, like if it's diagonal, start and stop point, it'll go all the way through and embroider. All right, you guys understand what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, I did like I actually think it's 14 of these, but I gotta go drop them off tonight when I leave here. And I made a little Instagram video. This is me loading stuff up on the machine earlier today. Loading up some shirts right there. I think I ran everything on 1, 2, 3, 4. I used 4 heads today. 4 heads out of my 6 today. Got it done really, really fast. And I had a client come in and pick up the rest of her stuff, and it was really, really cool. Really cool. Good stuff. Very, very extremely productive day. How many of you guys have productive days? Let me look in the chat and see what's going on. I'm gonna have to try a trick. I didn't know that. I did not know that. See what I'm saying? Listen, occasionally I do get stuff digitized from a digitizer, and believe it or not, I'm not like arrogant and try to toot my own horn. Half the time when I get stuff digitized from a digitizer, I end up talking to the digitizer and helping him understand how to digitize better. May God strike me down right now if I'm lying. These guys that digitize every day, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. Most of the time when I get stuff digitized by them, I end up talking to them. Hey, why'd you do the applique like this? Why didn't you put a placement stitch, then a tack down stitch, and then or why didn't you put trims between my characters instead of putting trims between the words? Like I need a trim between each character so that my font, if I have a word the, it's like THE, and it embroiders the whole thing, and it has like a jump stitch between the letters, and you got to go in and clip it and real carefully. No, you can select that and you can put your trim in between characters. So it's little stuff like that like digitizers don't know, along with density stuff. Sometimes they'll digitize something and they'll put it so dense, and I gotta go back and edit. That's why I just end up digitizing stuff myself. If it's something real complex, I just end up, you know what I mean? Because they'll get it wrong, or like it'll act weird in your machine, and your machine start bird nesting. And I think that's one of the huge reasons why people have problems with their machine, and they like, well, you know, it's the machine. Embroidery has so many different uh, technicalities that can happen that can affect the way a machine runs. And in my videos, when I'm embroidering and I'm live, you guys see that my machines run all the time, nonstop, and the only time I got to change, the only time it stops is when I have to change the bobbin. Now, why is that? That's because I know the proper density for my machine to run smooth. I know how to tweak my machine, turn those knobs. I had a question. I had a comment on a video I made when I embroidered somebody else's file that they embroidered on a different machine, and they were like arguing back and forth with me, kind of, sort of, and well, I would say debating back and forth with me in the comments on a previous video, and I had one of the guys, send me his file, and I embroidered his file on my machine, and it came out just as good, if not better. But you had people in the comments, you know, those people with the no face, no profile picture, saying, well, you could see that his came out better, not mine, the other guys. But those are representatives from another company. And I can tell because unless you're an influencer or you are somebody who makes videos about embroidery, you don't typically go super, super hard for a company, right? That's why I'm trying to get people to like retrain their brains and not be embroidery machine junkies and focus more on business, right? Because the point that I made in that video was it doesn't matter how much money you spend on your embroidery machine, because if I embroider a hat and you embroider a hat, you're not going to get any more money when you sell that hat than I am, right? A $25 or $30 hat is a $25 or $30 hat, regardless of what machine it was embroidered on. Same goes for pressing a DTF. It doesn't matter if you have a Fusion IQ heat press or you're pressing on an HTV Ront hand press. The transfer is the transfer. You press it on a shirt. Did you cure it right? You're still gonna make the same amount of money. So at the end of the day, when it comes to dollars and cents, the person that paid the least amount of money and is producing a quality product is gonna make out better because it's the same product, right? Yeah. So just some stuff to think about, guys. Let me see what's going on in the comments. I didn't learn it from one of your old. I did learn it from one of your old videos, digitizing videos. Yeah, I don't make a lot of digitizing videos because they don't make a lot of views. People say that they want me to make videos on digitizing, but then when I started making them, and you guys have noticed, I started making them. Not a lot of people watch. And you guys notice when I try to teach stuff, I start at a very basic level and I like build on it. So those digitizing videos that I started making, they were just basic videos to try to help people understand the basic fundamentals. And once you understand the basic fundamentals, if your mind works the way my mind works, you can pretty much make anything once you understand the fundamentals. You can go in there and figure out the rest of the tools and build on it. You know what I mean? But like I said, those videos weren't getting any views, so it's like, you know what? It's only like 2-3 people that want to watch these things, so it's like I'm out. And me knowing how much of a valuable skill it is, and but people are like, a lot of people are bubblegum people, I guess. They're like, they just want to they want to see people dancing in their videos, rather than learning some valuable information. I don't know. That's just the day and age we live in, I guess. But I contacted my aunt and checked on her because she lives in Florida. I contacted my best friend. He's in Miami, Florida, and they said they're doing good. But I was scared. I was really nervous because I saw this video clip right here that I'm gonna play for you guys real fast.
You dream, you plan, you work. Every hour, every day.
Real fast, and Let me skip this ad so I can show you guys how, in case you guys didn't see how crazy it is down there in Florida. All right, let me cut to this and
National Hurricane Center literally within the last 60 seconds about that potentially catastrophic hurricane in Florida. It turns out, it appears that Milton has wobbled a bit north toward Tampa. It is also moving fast. It is now expected to make landfall a little earlier than expected, possibly in that 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern range.
Tampa, Florida,
all of this is on top of the tornadoes already spinning off. At least 17 already reported. Some 50 warnings issued already from the National Weather Service in Miami. That's the most they've ever put out in a single day. And it's hitting some of the places you see here. Take a look at some of the video that's been coming in Broward, Hendry, Glades County. Want to show you also some video from a home camera. Look at these trees whipping around as this apparent tornado blows through. This is in Fort Myers. You can actually see it getting more and more intense as the seconds go by. We're going to take you live to Fort Myers in just a second. Some of these tornadoes are even hitting the other side of the state, like in Martin County, where the wind flipped a trailer, snapped some trees. Take a live look right now at the wind, the water in Tampa.
A guy showed like a expressway and an access road that he normally drives down, and he showed it and took a picture of it before the hurricane, and like there was a little house on the other side, and then he showed it after, and like to give it some perspective, there was a house on the other side and you still saw the house, but the whole roadway was gone except for one lane. It's insane. But this stuff is extremely powerful. It doesn't matter how tough you are, it doesn't matter how strong you are. You know, once that water comes in and those streets start flooding, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You understand? This is crazy.
St. Pete, Lee County, Jacksonville. This is what is happening on the ground right now. It is only going to get rainier and windier as the night progresses, as this storm is expected to make landfall in maybe as soon as 4 or 5 hours from now.
Look at all those cars.
This is between Tampa Bay and Venice. That is the expectation here. You saw ambulances lined up earlier. You see that on the left as hospitals evacuated patients, and highways had been jammed up. But at this point, officials say, listen, stay in, hunker down. If you haven't left by now, don't go at this point. It is simply too late. We've got team coverage tonight. You can see it all across the state. But I want
imagine that. And I thought about it too. People in South Florida, right? If you didn't leave by now, it's too late, because the storm is going to tear right through the center of Florida. So if you leave South Florida, you're actually driving through the eye of the storm. And so if you didn't leave by now, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So that's scary stuff. But I'm going to leave that alone. And we're just going to pray for our friends and family down in Central Florida, South Florida, and all over the neighboring areas. Those streets get flooded and they sweep you away. So I brought that up because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but how many of you guys think that this stuff is man-made? I'm just curious. How many of you guys think that that they're like pointing lasers in the sky or doing whatever how many of you guys have thought about that? I'm just curious. Just curious. Not saying that it is, but how many people have thought of the possibility that the government knows how to make it rain severely? And it's a strategic way of reallocating resources and kind of like restarting the economy in a way, or regaining ownership of land and property. I mean, this is the government we're talking about, right? So it's like, it's a possibility, no? I think so. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me read some comments and I'm gonna get out of here, because I gotta go drop off these t-shirts. Good evening, everyone watching from Philly. What's going on, Aaron L? If you have not became a member, you and all of you really think about becoming a member. Yeah, that's definitely true. We talk a lot on Friday evenings, Fridays at 7, and I honestly think I get more out of you than you guys get out of me, because we trade ideas. We talk about many different things. We talk about vending. We talk about different ways of generating revenue as far as, you know, with our tools are concerned. Some of us are specialists in different things like sewing. Some of us are specialists in lasers. It's a real good community, right? And it's kind of like an open format. You know, I start off from, you know, we see how everybody's doing and see what everybody's up to. It's like a weekend weekly summary that you talk amongst your peers so you can get different ideas and get your ball rolling and get motivated so you can go into the next week like excited and, you know, ready to try some new stuff. But anyway, I just paid as well digitizer for a very complex piece, and the work was so far from how I interpreted the original image that I just redid it myself. There you have it. Yep. This hurricane is a monster. It looks like a monster. I checked up on Craftable Things this morning to make sure she was all right. You know what I mean? But she says she's cool. We'll see how this thing unfolds. Willie Shipping. I am in just sitting it out. Yeah. I was in Miami for Deco Summit, and those roads flood easily. Heck yeah. Yep. Campfire. Look, Campfire is thinking about what I said. We do have rain cloud generators in Florida and in Okeechobee. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. The military has been working on weather control for a century. That's right. They call it the cloud seeding. Yep. You guys know what I'm talking about. See? And what's been going on in South Florida specifically is, have you guys seen the thing that they're doing where they started, like, you got a lot of people in South Florida that own condos, right? And what they did apparently was they started assessing these large buildings with people's condos in them, and they discovered that a lot of the homeowners associations weren't keeping up with the building. A lot of the owners weren't keeping up with the maintenance of the building, and once they did one, it caused a chain effect and had whoever's in charge of the of making sure these buildings are structurally sound. They had them. Now they're going around from building to building to building, discovering that most of them haven't been kept up to codes all these years. So now it's like, okay, to get this thing up to code and livable and legal, you have to pay each resident has to pay an astronomical amount, to the point where who's got $200,000 just to give away for their portion to get their building that they have a condo in to get the thing up to code. So it's kind of like robbery. It's scary. And just to think like this could be a tactic to get those properties back, because I've seen plans where they plan on building high rises in South Florida, and I'm like, well, where's all the land going to come from? Where's all the, you know, especially in the Miami area, everything's pretty much locked down, kind of, sort of. So it's like, where are you guys putting these buildings? If downtown Miami is already downtown Miami, where are you guys putting these buildings? And what's going to happen with the building? It's just weird. Anyway, I digress. So, guys, just some things to think about. Just some entertaining and enlightening stuff going on around that we should consider. Let me know your thoughts on the heat press thing. And also let me know if you think, which is coming up, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to interview some companies and have them come on and talk about their products. And my goal is to actually get you guys to ask the questions that you want to know, and kind of like not put them in a hot seat, but I want to kind of like have a online live expo, minus all the bells and whistles because we're online. I'm going to ask them to show some products and stuff like that and talk about it and talk about what makes their products unique, right? Because a lot of companies have similar looking products. So we're going to talk to some people and see what's what. All right. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I hope everybody had a wonderful day and productive day, as productive as I did, because I got stuff done today. I got it in. This is me I think I was about to trim some stabilizer off of one of the garments. Yeah, there you go. I'm trimming the stabilizer off the back. I got a bunch of work done today. Very, very productive day. And I hope you guys had a productive day as well. And get some rest so you can have a productive day tomorrow. I'll see you guys on the next live stream tomorrow. Meet me here, I'd say about 6 o'clock. And we're going to talk about a big sale that's going on that you guys probably want to partake in, especially if you know somebody or if you don't own a heat press. All right, so stay tuned for that tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right.